The Titanic has been visited numerous times throughout its history. In 1912, it was the largest passenger ship ever built. Later, in 1985, the Titanic was rediscovered by a joint American-French expedition. In 1987, another mission was launched to explore the wreck of the Titanic. Over the next decade, several other visits were made to the Titanic in order to survey its deteriorating condition. Since then, the Titanic has become a popular destination for many divers. In 2004, an exploration project called Project Titanic visited the Titanic. This was the first time in 15 years that the Titanic had been seen up close. The first tourist diving expedition, known as the Forgotten Dive, took place in 2007. Since then, various other expeditions have visited the Titanic on a regular basis. In 2009, a film crew was allowed to film the wreck, which was the first time the public had been allowed to see inside the Titanic. The film was extremely popular and drew in millions of viewers. In 2011, for the centennial anniversary of the sinking of the Titanic, a number of tours were organized to visit the wreck. This was also the first time that commercial divers were allowed to dive the ship. In 2012, a major exploration project was launched to survey the Titanic in preparation for a possible eventual recovery of artifacts from the site. In 2013, a major project to install 3D cameras around the Titanic was launched. This project allowed researchers to have an unprecedented view of the ship. After a period of relative inactivity, a renewed interest in the Titanic was sparked in 2015 with the launch of a project to digitally map the wreck in 3D. In 2016, the Australian and Chinese governments teamed up to launch a major research expedition to the Titanic in order to better understand the impact of its loss on the world. The centennial anniversary of the sinking was marked with another flurry of visits to the Titanic. This included a US-led mission that performed an extensive survey of the wreck. In 2018, the first European expedition to the Titanic, known as the EU Titanic Expedition, was launched. This expedition had a major focus on mapping the wreck in 3D. In 2019, a major underwater archaeological project to map the wreck in high definition was launched. Since then, the Titanic has been explored further with various teams using unmanned submarines to traverse the wreck. Was a particularly significant year as the Titanic was visited by scientists, historians, and scientists with the aim of learning more about the tragedy. One of the more notable visits in 2020 was a mission organized by the Titanic Memorial Cruise, which allowed passengers to spend the night on the wreck of the Titanic. Furthermore, a documentary film crew spent some time on the wreck capturing footage of the interior and exterior of the wreck. In 2021, a large number of organizations have planned visits to the Titanic. These include the Titanic Historical Society, which plans to further explore and excavate the wreck. The Titanic has been visited many times over the course of its history, and it is likely that its story will continue to fascinate people in the years to come. There have been numerous expeditions to the Titanic over the last few decades, and these have yielded plenty of information about the wreck and its history. Visiting the Titanic has become popular with divers, researchers, and just about anyone who is interested in its history. Over the years, The number of tourists visiting the Titanic has grown significantly. With every visit to the Titanic, we learn more about its story and the impact of its loss on the world. As a result, the Titanic continues to fascinate us to this day. The Titanic has been visited many times, and each visit adds to our understanding of the ship. Most recently, in 2020, visitors had a unique opportunity to spend the night on the wreck. In 2021, there have already been a number of expeditions to the Titanic, with many more planned for the coming months and years. The Titanic has been visited more times than most people realize. Since its rediscovery in 1985, the Titanic has been explored repeatedly in order to survey its condition and better understand its history. Every visit to the Titanic is an opportunity to learn more about its tragedy, and each visitor contributes new insights and knowledge.